Hello everybody, Dokkan Assets here. Today we are back with another figure news video, and we got a real good one lined up for you today. Not as much as last time, even though I'm sure looking at that top bar you're like, oh boy, that's a lot. We still got a bit of a one ahead of us. However, this is certainly not going to be as crazy as the last one because, of course, we had all the SDCC announcements. By the way, before we get into the last-minute SDCC thing that's on the screen, I do want to apologize if you can hear my fan going. It is currently 92 degrees outside, so I apologize if the audio quality suffers a little bit, but your boy doesn't want to melt making this video. So let's go ahead and hop into what we have for today's figure news. First of all, I'm kind of mad about this. I'm not going to lie. I was talking about how at the last figure news video, right, the SDCC SH Figure Arts exclusive figures were only available at SDCC. And last year, they had them available on Premium Bandai, so you could at least purchase them if you wanted to cop these bad boys. And quite literally, the day that I upload the video, because obviously I make these videos the day before I upload them, they announce that these figures are now available for pre-order on Premium Bandai. Fat L I took on that one. Thankfully, if you checked out the community tab, I did make a little update post there. If anything ever happens like that, we're in a figure news video, I'm not sure of something, or like a development that's just about to happen, maybe happens right as the news video goes up, I'll definitely update it on the community tab. However, these figures are now gone, actually. I know there's an X on that one, but the pre-order window for these guys is now gone. Again, sorry about that one. That was just totally terrible timing in terms of when I film these videos. But you can still pre-order, obviously, Gamma 1 and 2 and Turles, but those guys aren't the convention exclusives, of course. You cannot pre-order anymore the Shinron, the Buu, the 16, or the Goku. Now, that being said, I did really want all of these guys, maybe except for the Shinron. Because I do have the color exclusive 17 and 18, but these are still pretty expensive for these figures, so I don't know, maybe I'll just try and get them secondhand on the market, which they'll be even more, to be honest with you. But I digress. These guys were available for a little bit. I did make a tweet about it. Like I said, I did make a community post, so hopefully if you were interested in these figures, you were able to pick them up. We will get to this later, but I did want to give you a little teaser because I know he's in the thumbnail. Alright, so this was also just real quick, something else interesting. We had C2E2 in Chicago, actually, take place. This is around me. Unfortunately, I did not go, even though I probably would have if I would have known it was in Chicago. Somehow I kind of forgot that C2E2 is a Chicago hometown thing. Whoops! But nonetheless, came and went this week, and there was, or came and went this weekend, I guess I should say. Still kind of happening now, obviously, because it's the weekend. But there wasn't anything new in terms of any Dragon Ball figures here, but I just figured I'd mention it. You can see that they brought some of the Dragon Ball superhero display stuff from SDCC. Alright, so let's go ahead and... Ow! Oh, that knuckle crack really hurt. Let's go ahead and get into Baggy Saiyan's tweets for today. This was just something that I wanted to bring up again because I don't know if a lot of people know about this. This is the Figure Arts Zero Janemba. This is a figure that was shown off a fat minute ago at some kind of fair or convention or something like that. Obviously, Figure Arts Zero, if I didn't say that already. And unfortunately, this figure got canned. This figure has never seen the light of day. I guess I'm kind of not surprised considering how awful Gogeta did and how awful he turned out. But it is kind of unfortunate because obviously you can see the tag, you know, pending approval. So it had to be vetoed somewhere along the line. Hopefully it'll eventually see the light of day one day. But it's ironic because it would have cost half the market value predicted for this bad boy, which we'll also get into that a little bit later. So hopefully this figure sees the light of day again, but I just wanted to kind of note that. So this was something else that I just wanted to show at the SDCC booth. First of all, Goku fell over there, but I just thought that this was pretty funny. We saw these booths last time. Poor Yamcha, bro. Oh no. My boy really took a bad tumble. That's crazy. This is a good figure, too. It's kind of unfortunate that he fell over. Poor Yamcha there. Very unfortunate, bro. Okay, so this was also something interesting that got confirmed recently. The upcoming Dragon Ball Heroes Kuji, the one that we've been taking a look at in the last couple figure news videos, will have a bonus card with it, but it has yet to be designed, and this was the one from last year. I actually have this card. I bought this on eBay. It is very sick. So yeah, so some of these will be out in the wild. Hopefully you can cop one of these for yourself if you really want one. It wasn't too expensive, funny enough, despite being like kind of rare. So definitely if you want one, they shouldn't be too hard to get. This was also something interesting. Baggy did not have the image for this because it was like basically crunchy as heck. But the full lineup wasn't shown from what he could remember. These were on the clear files of the small prizes, excuse me, for the Dragon Ball Heroes Ichiban Kuji. So it'll be cool to see these in a full art style. You know, obviously these are more stylized to the card, so they will have like a proper aura on the actual clear files. This is the promotional poster for the Blood of Saiyan's Gohan. Pretty cool looking poster. It's funny that they just use the outer glow down there. And we also have the promotional poster for ya boy Clear Eyes Vegeta. This is going to be interesting to see, like Baggy notes here, the color of the Super Saiyan 2 Gohan for the Great Saiyan Man. We'll also see some pictures of this guy, finally, which will be pretty cool. Moving on, this was a little interesting thing that I wanted to note here. We've been looking at the LO Boo for a couple of videos now, and in the official description of the figure, it talks about full of weight. Baggy doesn't know if that means literally or if it's just a figure of speech, but if it is full of weight, meaning that this thing is not hollow, that means it is going to be a little bit more difficult to import because this boy will be heavy. Personally, I kind of think that that's just a marketing thing. I've seen that on other Dragon Ball products and whatnot over the years where they kind of do something like that. But it sounds like it would mean something, but it's really just like kooky marketing. So we'll have to see when we eventually get our hands on that bad boy. Okay, so here is the Clear Eyes Vegeta. We will also get some more final pictures of him later, so I'm not going to dawdle on this too long. But from our initial impressions... oh boy. Oh boy. We'll take a look more at him a little bit later too. We also have a couple more pictures from the same event. It's definitely his face. And I talked about how I thought that the chest armor was also way too small on the front specifically. It just looks really thin. And yeah, I don't know. His face looks way too blocky. This looks like a stylized version of Vegeta rather than being Super Vegeta himself. Also, the muscle definition on the arms is really, really weird. His hands also look too big. My man kind of built like Donkey Kong low-key. We'll take a look at him a little bit more later because we have some better pictures of him. This is something I was excited to show off. We actually have some more in-person pictures of the Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta from the upcoming Dokkan battle figure, of course, the Figuart Zero figure. This guy looks really, really cool. I will say, one thing that I've seen with this guy consistently so far is his face has looked a little bit goofy. It's definitely not the worst figure-looking face, and it could also just be the angle, but there are a lot of really dark black lines on his face, which kind of make the figure feel a little bit cheap. Also, is that a little bit of chipping on the paint I see right there, or is that just the shadow? It's kind of hard to tell. But either way, the effect piece looks beautiful, right? I think when it comes to Figuart Zero, granted, maybe it didn't always used to be this way, because Bandai used to make a little bit better quality figures. Heyo, zinger. But I think when you're buying a Figuart Zero figure, at least one where it's like Kamehameha in your face, I think you're buying it more for the effect pieces rather than the figure anyway. So we will have to see how this guy fares in the final product when we actually get our hands on him. But so far, he is looking pretty good. This kind of almost looks like a custom paint job, to be honest with you, even though I don't think it is. But yeah, I like the effect parts a lot. I think they look really, really good. This was also something pretty cool. This is apparently going to be on the back of the packaging, but it isn't like the super mega high quality HD art. And funny enough, they actually mimic... What is this recommended image down here? This is actually the way that they, of course, format it in Dokkan Battle. So it's kind of cute that they're sort of doing the same thing and formatting it that way on the back of the box. Almost said the baka of the box. That looks cool. I definitely like this, for sure. Very, very cool. I can't wait to see what it looks like on the actual box. This is a quick little note. I guess this is technically a figure, so I'm going to include it in here. We have these Goku Hallmark ornaments. We have this one, which has a windowed box packaging. And then we have this one, which is the keepsake line. Again, I have no idea. I don't collect Hallmark ornaments, but these don't look too bad for ornaments, I guess, right? Ornaments are never really known for obviously having super crazy accuracy when it comes to, you know, like making versions of characters. They're supposed to be these kind of like, I don't want to say cheap, but maybe more a little bit like cheesy, right, sort of thing. And I think these kind of fit the bill for that. Goku's hair, by the way, also looks so tiny on his cranium in the second picture here. I don't know what that's all about. Anyway, the semi-perfect cell, the imperfect cell, releases August 27th in Japan, which is really cool. I know people have been looking forward to this figure. I myself have also been looking forward to this guy because this is actually my favorite form of cell. I know, weird take, but very cool that he's going to be coming out the 27th. This was pretty cool. The store search for the history of film Kuji was out, and apparently 2,000 stores in Tokyo actually got, just in Tokyo alone, got the history of the film Kuji. And the power of DBZ, checking back the store numbers, is actually amazing for this Kuji. Now we have to wait for lots to hopefully clear as quick as possible to flood the market with figures and the market value to go down. So yeah, Elo is completely new figures, so there's a big indecisive, or I literally can't read, I'm a Dragon Ball fan, I'm sorry. Incentive to clear lots. All of a sudden getting a good feeling now. Last year there was only 600 Tokyo stores for the Back to the Film Kuji. This year there's almost 2,000 for the history of the film. So hopefully these guys flood the market. That's obviously why this is a good thing, because the price of the figure will go down when you're importing it, since we're not going to be getting here in the States, and we'll get official confirmation that a little bit later. We're not going to go through these too heavily because we'll see some IRL pictures that aren't these like funny edited ones, but these are something that Bandai has been doing recently. They've been doing the final versions of the figures on these colored backgrounds, which is really interesting. Obviously you can tell that these are very like heavily edited in terms of the lighting. However, I definitely like the shadow shenanigans going on here. I definitely like the editing at play here, even though I feel like this isn't a good representation of the figure, and it's definitely more like something you'd see in an advertisement or in like a ad on YouTube or TV for these, right? Still pretty cool to take a look at. Yeah, so this was pretty crazy. So there should be just over 15,000 stores that have the history of film Kuji, which means just over 15,300 pieces of each figure will exist in Japan once the lot clears as ratio per one lot of figure. We'll see what happens now. So yeah, we'll definitely see what ends up happening with that. Hopefully we get lower prices on these guys for sure. Oh boy, so here we go with classic Bandai quality control. This is the result of how the figures were packaged, it seems. You can see that Beerus's finger is bent very weirdly. That one's maybe a little bit less noticeable, but I think when you look at... Ugh! That's a little rough, my guy. That's a little rough. I'm going to be honest, if whenever I get around to getting this figure, if it looks like this, bro, ooh, your boy is not going to be having a good time with that one. That is pretty yucky, if I do say so myself. Very unfortunate to see. I believe the next one as well. This was a different Kuji, not the same one as the History of Film one. This was from the Omnibus one with the Super Trunks. But as you can see, this is how the figure came out of the box. You can see that the, you know, paint is scratched up, scuffed. It kind of looks like this figure was used. Like somebody took it in a toy box and was like jamming it around and stuff like that. So this is really unfortunate. Obviously, oh, and we'll get to that later too. This is really unfortunate because obviously you're paying such a high price for these figures that these should not have these quality control issues. And Bandai didn't used to be like this, but unfortunately with a lot of the modern figures this tends to happen. Okay, so we have some store numbers for you. I'm going to let you take a look at these while I take a little sip of water here. So these are the Sega and Geo Store numbers as well. We also have the ones for the Game Station numbers. As you can see here, Gohan, as expected, taking the fat Dubsky over all of the other figures. You can also tell that Dragon Ball is pretty much the lowest ordered from all of these, which partially is because Gogeta is really oversaturated in terms of figures. We have so many Gogeta figures that a lot of the like hardcore collectors just don't care about new Gogeta figures. And Super Saiyan Goku has also kind of been done to death as well. But again, in terms of figures, Dragon Ball just isn't doing as well as it used to over in Japan. This is technically a figure, so I'm including it in the video. I've been trying to include less wacky merch because it is Dragon Ball figure news, but we have these very cute little figures on top of these different Dragon Ball cups here. I really like these. We have Pilaf, Bulma, Roshi, Krillin, Chi-Chi, Oolong, Goku, and I have no idea what this is going to be. Maybe just a Dragon Ball since it's a circle. I don't know if that's just supposed to represent something, but yeah, very cute. Definitely very cool. I would like to know what that secret rare is. I have no idea. Okay, so this is something that's a little bit unfortunate with this Gohan. We've looked at this guy so many times, so I'm not including any other pictures in here besides this. But this is something that I know I had a problem with, and it seems like some other people had a problem with as well when analyzing this figure. You can see that the eyes are definitely a little bit too far apart, right? Especially from this straight on angle. Gohan is quite literally staring into your soul. This person made a small little edit here, and that is definitely more how the eyes should be, absolutely a little bit closer into the eyebrows. Whether this is quality control or just the designer of this figure making a weird choice is, I suppose, kind of up to you to decide. But I definitely agree. I think this figure would look much better if the eyes were like that. Granted, I suppose you could paint it, but you shouldn't need to do that, you know. Moving on, I know this is a very crunchy image, but we got a little bit of a preview of the Dragon Ball Evolve Vegeta here, only available at Walmart. And I do quite like the packaging here. The Dragon Ball Evolve line has this really cool art. I kind of wish... I know we always hate when they reuse art because we love when we get new art and they make it for specific things because it makes products feel that much more special. But this is like the one time I wouldn't mind them reusing this art because this art is so cool. I would like to get one of these figures someday just to take a look at how they are. Okay, so we have some History Box Goku Finals. I'm not going to go too crazy on these because, again, we have some more clear images and better lighting later. But I will say, his arm muscles are quite weird. I think his chest looks pretty good, but what is going on with his arm? And why does it feel too big for his body? That's like a tree trunk arm, bro. That's a little weird if you ask me. I don't know. Looks a little goofy for sure. Okay, so I don't remember if I talked about these being re-released or if this was when I was kind of taking a break from doing figure news. But we do have Krillin and Chi-Chi here, and as you can see, some pretty yucky blemishes all over this figure. You have these scratches on Chi-Chi's eyes, which is just really strange. And on the back of the helmet, you have... Dog, I don't even know what that is. I got no idea. So very much so a shame that these ended up having a couple of QC issues. I wanted to get these figures too because I actually have the Goku from this line. I haven't opened it yet because I've also been watching Dragon Ball recently, so I've been in kind of a Dragon Ball mood, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. This was pretty cool. We have the Muji Kuji and June prize figures, except for the Solid Edgeworks Gohan, out now for Australia. So if you are in Australia, definitely keep an eye out for these figures to see if you can't cop these for yourself. Okay, so this was pretty cool. On the October draw cap non-digital samples, these look much better. Hopefully the IRL finals are good. So basically, these ones are, instead of sculpting these digitally like they did for the just original, like here's what they're gonna look like, these seem to be a lot more cared for, hand sculpted if you will. And even though the style of these is, like, I'm sure not for everyone, this is a lot more consistent with what they used to look like, right? And I think this is definitely a lot better looking than a lot of the more recent ones we've seen. I hope they end up looking like this. I'm not holding out hope because these look amazing. And I'm assuming this is going to be one of those figures where I'm going to want to go into Bandai and yoink it from their vault. Because usually the finals for these don't look crazy good, even though these look fantastic. I think my favorite one is probably Goku carrying Goten and the Vegeta, honestly. The other two are really cool, but I think something about Goku's face on the other two looked kind of weird. Frieza's face looks kind of funny on the golden one, but it looks good. But yeah, I really like those two on the left. Very cool. Hopefully they turn out alright. So here are the History of Film small prizes. I will say, I do agree with Baggy on this one. It's a little bit strange that the acrylic stand for Blue Goku, he isn't in his revival of F Gi. It's his regular Gi, which kind of doesn't really make sense. Unless this is supposed to be Tournament of Power, but then he would have the halo. And they also just reused this art from another Kuji. They had these little ID holders, I believe is what these are. These are minor prizes in another Ichiban Kuji, and they just reused the art for this one. It is still pretty cool looking, though. I definitely cannot deny that. This is also very color corrected, by the way. I don't think that the actual final thing is going to look this bright. This definitely looks like someone turned up the saturation in Photoshop. We also have the other smaller prizes for this Ichiban Kuji. Yeah, so I guess these are mouse pads. I think I was taking a guess at these when we saw these in the last figure news video or a couple figure news videos ago, and I was like, wow, I can't tell what these are because they're so low quality. I think these are cool, right? Like, I definitely don't think that these are bad necessarily. It's weird because I know you could think that these are lazy, and I am all for calling Bandai lazy. Y'all know that. I've made rant videos on this channel about how much I don't like Bandai's laziness and charging you more and stuff like that. But I don't know. I kind of like these. Maybe it's just because I'm a sucker for technology-related stuff, but I think these are just subtle and kind of cool. I would really like to get the one with the original Dragon Ball logo on it. That would be pretty sick. We also have, I think these are like, I want to say just like little coin purses, mask holders maybe, something like that, with just some different Dragon Ball logos on them, with the Dragon Ball text on the front. And then some cups, which honestly, these are pretty cool, even though these are just kind of reusing the symbols that we've been seeing throughout. I think these are actually really cool because obviously they're like, not embedded, embossed, I guess would probably be a better word. I really want that Dragon Ball one. That's really cool. That's sick. Yeah, definitely not bad. Those look like pretty decently sized cups as well, unless they're really small. I don't know, but they look like pretty big cups to me. Okay, so we did have some pictures, finally, of this guy. And honestly, this figure turned out really well. If I didn't have like a million blue Gogeta figures already, I would probably consider copping this figure. Because this guy actually looks really good. I think the Super Saiyan Blue one looks a little bit better than the Super Saiyan one. That might just be because, though, the eyes are a lot more defined, or the eyebrows, I guess, are a lot more defined with the blue, whereas, like, the yellow kind of melts into the sculpt a little bit. And that also isn't, I don't mean that literally, but that also could just be the lighting because it's dark, and obviously with the eyebrows sort of casting a shadow, it kind of gives that effect like the eyebrows. You can't see them as well. But these figures actually look good. I'm very impressed. The Solid Edgeworks line has definitely been doing a lot better recently. Again, if I didn't have a million Gogeta Blue figures, I would probably consider getting this. Maybe I'll get the Super Saiyan one. I don't know. Because I already have way too many Gogeta Blue figures. I need to get rid of some of them if I'm being honest. But yeah, these guys turned out pretty good, honestly. I'm definitely pretty satisfied with this. Even though the paint job is definitely a lot more reminiscent of more modern day prize figures where they're a little bit more cheap looking, I think overall the sculpt and the paint job looks alright. I'm definitely not opposed to these guys for sure. So here we have the images of ya boy Gohan here, which we've been taking a look at this figure for a little bit. That angle is... oh! That's a nice angle right there. That's a very nice angle. So yeah, this guy doesn't look too bad. One thing I will say is looking at this figure from straight on definitely makes his hair look a lot shorter than I think it actually is. I think that's because if we take a look at this, right, especially like these angles, you can see that his hair is kind of slicked back a little bit more, right? Because this looks like so poofy, and then you look at this image here, and it looks really tiny. I don't know. It's a very weird optical illusion with the camera angles here. But his eyes are definitely a little bit too thin, I think. This figure definitely isn't bad, in my opinion. I definitely like this one. I think, though, that if you want to get this figure, the Master Stars Piece one, not the Super Master Stars Piece one, but the regular Master Stars Piece one, is quite literally this pose, and it has Fruit Punch on it, has super big, fluffy, big hair sculpt that I think that, honestly, people would probably like better than this one, even though I don't think this is a bad figure by any means. And as well, obviously, if you are a fan of the Clear Eyes gimmick with the light that you could shine through the hair, then, of course, this figure is for you. But, yeah. Not bad. The face could use a little bit of work, and I think maybe the hair could be angled a little bit better, but overall, definitely not bad. The body also looks okay, too, though. I don't know what's happening here, but I think that's just a shadow. Yeah, that's the shadow of his bang. The bang does look really cool, though, with the clear plastic, I do have to admit. Okay, so here's what I was talking about with some more clear images of this guy, the History Box Goku. Okay, we're going to click on that image in a minute. Hold on. We're getting to more Kuji stuff later, but... So here is Goku. Again, this figure doesn't look too bad, but his arms look way too big for his body. And am I weird to say that I feel like they're too far up? Like, I feel like his shoulders are attached at the wrong spot. I don't know. I know your shoulders are obviously, like, not equal with your chest line, but I feel like even if you bulked up, they wouldn't be like that. I don't know. Even though I've seen other Dragon Ball figures do something similar, like I'm looking over at the Broly on my shelf, who's obviously very bulky, and his arms are kind of like that, but I feel like they look more natural than this. I don't know. Definitely let me know in the comments what you think about this guy. However, I definitely don't think he turned out too bad, especially with the history box kind of being a little bit stinky up until this point. Well, I guess it was mostly the Bye Guys Goku. I'm pretty impressed with this guy, honestly. The face also isn't too bad. I think it could be a little bit better, but definitely not terrible by any means, for sure. So I have to click this, by the way, just because I'm... This man really bought all these metal coolers. That's crazy. That's so funny. Just to have the whole metal cooler army, he got 1 million of them for the case. That is funny. That's really goofy. I like that a lot, actually. That's pretty funny. I also see, interesting, the box for the Mega Premium Master Line Super Saiyan Vegeta. I'm sure you guys remember this. Holy cow! That box is huge! Okay, that did not do it justice. That's the Janemba box, which we're going to see a little bit of the size soon. But this is this guy's chair next to it. Oh my gosh. This is a figure that we took out a long time ago. We took a look at on the Dokkan Assets channel for a figure news video. That's crazy. Okay, so this was pretty cool. I think this was the one new thing that they showed at SDCC. The new spec Figurized Standard Goku IRL. So if you are unaware, Figurized Standard is a model kit line from Bandai, where basically they just have a bunch of Dragon Ball characters as model kits. They're pretty cool. I own a couple of them myself. The two that I built that I have are MUI Goku and Jiren. They're actually both on my desk. I quite like them a lot, honestly. And this is basically just a updated version of their original base form Goku figure. And this looks really good, honestly. I really, really like the expression on the base form Goku happy face. I think that that is like perfectly Goku, honestly. It looks really, really nice. And you can tell as well, there's a little bit more of the new technology that they've used in some of the more modern model kits that the Figurized Standard line has pumped out. So yeah, this definitely looks cool. If you don't have the original one, or if you don't have a solid base form Goku figure, or if you just want to build a model kit, when this comes out, definitely not a bad idea. It looks like it's going to come out in September, October of this year. That's what the 10 is, my bad. Okay, so yeah, so this was also, I believe, at C2E2 as well. I don't remember if I said the SDCC, I'm sorry. But yeah, nothing too crazy. This is basically just the figures that we've seen up until this point. Okay, so this was pretty interesting. We had the UDM The Burst 51 get some higher quality pictures with this art of Gohan here. As you can see, this set is going to contain Gohan, Broly, Pan, Fat Gotenks, and Dr. Hedo. Very cool. I definitely like these a lot. I think that Broly is honestly my favorite one out of all these. I like the Gohan, but I think Broly just looks the best. I don't know. I like the way that his hair is very flowy too. These look pretty cool. Obviously, the UDM line is literally Ultimate D4 mascot, so of course they look goofy because that's kind of the point. Pan is literally staring into your soul. But one interesting thing that I did want to note is we actually saw these figures a little while ago, and the art on the side was not Gohan. The art on the side was Broly. You can see Broly's arms in the background of these when they originally showed these figures here. So yeah, it's going to release the 4th week of August in Japan. But that is quite interesting to me that they changed the marketing a little bit to Gohan. Maybe they wised up and they're like, bro, he's the star of the movie. Why would we not put him on the cover? Anyway, we have a little bit of a piece of information about Vegeta and Gohan here. The Gohan BOS figure shipped out for Asia just in time, even though it got delayed a little bit, which is great. And the Clear Eyes Vegeta did not, so it may release with September block of figures for the West. Moving on, this was something interesting that was announced. So the 12th anniversary UDM The Burst 52 SDBH 12th anniversary UDM revealed, price increased to 400 yen. Why this image is so grainy, I have no idea. This is the better version of this image. This was the original. So I don't know. Obviously it's kind of hard to tell what the faces exactly look like of these guys, but from looking at these figures, you can see that we have the Warrior in black, and we have Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4 Vegito. We have the new Super Supreme Kai of Time, the Limit Breaker Gogeta, and the new form of God Trunks. These are all pretty cool. I'm definitely going to be excited to see these in high quality, but it's interesting that they're making merch of the new Supreme Kai already, the new Supreme Kai of Time. But yeah, very, very cool though. Definitely excited to see this when we actually get it, and not whatever quality this is. Alright, so this was also some good news for the pre-listings. Janemba, Turles, and Broly were around basically 13,000 to 14,000 yen. That's fantastic news because once the Kuji starts on Thursday, they should come down as lots clear with that many stores. Thank God the DVC branding is so good, yeah. Very, very cool. And it has actually gone down a little bit, I believe, too. Alright, so we have some high-quality images of these. I know that we've been taking a look at the great posing figures to these Gashapon figures for a little bit now. Gohan doesn't look too bad, but again, keep in mind these are figures that are literally not bigger than your index finger, so keep that in mind with what you will. Why Piccolo's antennas are so thick? I have no idea. I don't know why they decided to make them like that, because obviously the antennas are very thin. But that's the minifigure for you. I don't know. Very, very strange decision. We finally have a confirmed release date for this set. Adverge 13 confirmed release date for August 13th. This is obviously the superhero one. Honestly, I have honestly not been seeing too many people go crazy about these. I think Dragon Ball Adverge is a little bit more, I don't know, it's weird because they're not normal prize figures, they're just minifigures. I tend to see people buy these as like single packs rather than the whole thing. But if you want the whole movie, here you go. This is definitely for you. Why Goku is in here and not Vegeta as well is very strange to me. I also feel like they could have changed out Goku with another character, but oh well. Okay. So finally, we're on to the part that I know a lot of you are excited for. Sorry if I scared you with that clap, by the way. Dokkan Assets jump scare. But let's just revel in it for a minute while I take a drink of water. Look at this bad boy. Look at this bad boy, ladies and gentlemen. So this is the GxMATERIA, the Vegito. If you guys were watching the last couple figure news videos, you would know we've been talking about that GxMATERIA is going to make a Vegito figure. And lo and behold, it is indeed the Spirit Sword. This is definitely a very cool looking figure. Obviously, the GxMATERIA line is sculpted by Varquo. Still don't know how to say his name. So I expected it to be good, but that's good. That's real good. That's very, very nice. We'll get some multi-angles of him in a minute here. We did also get a re-release of the Ultimate Gohan in Super Saiyan form, which we kind of knew he was going to be getting one, of course, the DXF one. Unfortunately, instead of just having him have the closed mouth, they decided to have him grit his teeth, which I guess makes the figure a little bit different, but at the same time, I think the gritting teeth doesn't really work that well. I mean, it's cool that it's a superhero movie, Gohan and Super Saiyan, but, like, there's definitely going to be better ones down the line. I'd say that's an easy skip. We also have a base form version of Vegeta here. I believe this is the Super Retsuden 3-2 of this Vegeta here. Honestly, this isn't too bad of a looking figure. Something about it does put me off a little bit, but it's definitely not like the worst figure I've ever seen for sure. We also have this guy right here, which is the History Box Volume 5 Frieza. I feel like his face is a little bit too small for me personally, but this would definitely not be too bad if you were trying to make some kind of Namek setup. Definitely not too bad for sure. Definitely a fan of Vegito though, for sure. Let's get a look at... Oh, whoa. Okay, well, unfortunately, I have these out of order. I thought I had the multi-angles right after this, but we'll get to those in a minute then. I apologize. This was something else. Speaking of upcoming prize figure... Okay, well, I need to know what that image is for. I'm looking at that after the video. Upcoming figures to be released next year. All of these will be shown off at the prize fair at the end of this month. However, some may be photo banned, so it won't be shown to the public. So let's take a look at everything. These are the list of the upcoming figures. They do this every single month where they show off this in a list. We've seen these in other figure news videos as well. So we have, first of all, I have no idea what this is from Plex, but we're going to ignore that for now. The next GxMATERIA figure is Majin Buu. So that's going to be interesting to see how that turns out. I really wonder what scene they're going to choose for Buu. Maybe making somebody into candy. That could be pretty cool. Another solid Edgeworks figure, the Departure 9. No character listed there. Dragon Ball Z Super Retsuden Chapter 3 Road to Awakening. This one is definitely something that I'm going to be interested in. A Dragon Ball Superhero DXF Piccolo potential release. So what this is probably going to be is going to be the DXF Piccolo that we've gotten already. And they're going to color him closer to the potential release before he gets actual orange Piccolo. So that'll be pretty cool. I might actually decide to cop that figure just because, you know, the coloring will be very close to, you know, a new form in the movie, or, well, close to a new form. It will be. Obviously, the SH Figure Arts Turles will be releasing in February. This is kind of an unfortunate fate. In February, they decided to release a new Matchmakers figure set, and it's Superhero Goku and Vegeta. Are you kidding me? This is... It's a Gohan and Piccolo movie! Why? Who on the marketing team is marketing Goku and Vegeta for this movie? I don't understand. They're literally not even in the movie for more than like 10-15 minutes. I don't get it. So frustrating. But something else to look forward to is the Dragon Ball Z GxMATERIA, the Piccolo. Definitely going to be excited to see what they take from that. Since it is Dragon Ball Z, I'm assuming it's not going to be Piccolo Jr. or King Piccolo. But if that is the case, probably the special beam cannon? Maybe versus Raditz? Maybe versus Cell? I don't know. But it'll be really cool to see. If it is the special beam cannon, I cannot wait to see the way that that effect piece is sculpted for sure. We also have in March the Dragon Ball Z Super Retsuden 3 Chapter 4 Eternal Revival. And we also have a Dragon Ball Superhero Blood of Saiyan special figure. Now, this figure is the only one from the superhero figures that doesn't have a character associated with it. Also, Dragon Ball Z History Box 6, which, again, doesn't have one. But this is literally, so far, the only chance we have for a Gohan Beast figure in any relative soon-ish amount of time. If this is just a Goku, I'm going to be really mad. I don't think it will be, because Goku and Vegeta don't change forms in the movie. Broly powers up like he has an aura, but he doesn't actually change forms. Gohan is literally the only Saiyan in the movie that transforms. I think Trunks and Goten actually may transform. But regardless, Gohan is obviously the main focus. Goku and Vegeta don't transform. So this has to be. I mean, I would hope they would make this a Gohan Beast figure. I don't know if they would make it a Ultimate Gohan figure. Maybe a Super Saiyan. I would kind of hope not, considering we just got the DXF one. But cross your fingers. Cross your fingers it's going to be a Gohan Beast figure. Bro, if it is, I may just have to make an impromptu figure news video in the middle of the week. Because that would just be absolutely insanely hype. I might just have to break away from my 2 weeks and just drop a video talking about it. But yeah, so we should know by the end of this month, because obviously, like Baggy said, these will all be shown at the prize fair at the end of this month. So hopefully we'll know. Hopefully this figure isn't photo banned. I'm kind of assuming it will be. However, I know that when it comes to these type of events, a lot of the times people will take pictures of the photo banned figures anyway. So we might honestly get to see them, but fingers crossed it's Gohan Beast. Moving on. Oh yeah, so this was something interesting to note about the GxMATERIA Boo that we just talked about that's going to be coming up. So the Kid Boo from the Ichiban Kuji from, I believe that was last year, and Fat Boo are both labeled as just Majin Buu, which is very interesting. They're not labeled as Mr. Boo or Kid Boo or anything like that. So the GxMATERIA figure could be Fat Boo. It also could be Kid Boo. Knowing this information, it kind of makes a little bit more sense for it to be Kid Boo, because he has more ki-based blast attacks, right? Or he could be chucking those. I hope they don't do one where it's above his head, just because obviously Frieza kind of has a ball above his head, and I feel like that'd be a little bit boring. Maybe with him like throwing the ball down or something like that, though I kind of want to do them. I kind of want them to do that with the Spirit Bomb Goku, excuse me. So I don't know. Maybe Super Boo could be cool when he, you know, reaches his hand up on the lookout and shoots all the beams to destroy all the people on the planet. That could be a really cool figure for sure. But yeah, we'll have to see when this figure gets revealed for sure. It'll be interesting to see what they pick. So this was also just something else interesting to note on the Dokkan prize figures, because obviously, if you are aware by this point, February is when the Dokkan prize figures get released in Japan. Dragon Ball no longer has a full state of prize figures, so there's probably enough space for the Dragon Ball 8th Anniversary prize figure collab. Full February info ban lifts end of September, so we'll get confirmation then, but I'll be surprised if we get to again. Yeah, so unfortunately, Dokkan 7th Anniversary figures were the lowest ordered Dokkan figures, so there could also be a chance we get no 8th Anniversary prize figures, period. Again, keep in mind, this is in Japan, of course, in the West, even though I know we just talked about in the last video that you're probably like, how can this be? Because they just sold out on Big Bad Toy Store. Well, just because they sold out on one store doesn't mean they sold out everywhere. And again, keep in mind, the Japanese market is really what they focus on for this type of thing. So, we'll have to see. It would be a real shame if it put an end to Dokkan prize figures. I'm kind of thinking that they'll probably still just do one. If anything, I would really hope so. But time will tell. Time will tell. Okay. So this was also just a quick other note about the January Retsuden release. This is probably going to be a re-release of this figure because of the title. It is similar to the same title as that Gohan that we had, you know, shown in the Super Saiyan form. It seems like it will be a base form version of Gohan and a Super Saiyan Gohan, or Super Saiyan Gohan, a Super Saiyan Goku, excuse me, in the armor based off the title from when they were training in the Hyperbolic Time Chamber. So it'll be kind of weird that, like, technically the two figures you would think would be in the same set will be in separate sets, because the Super Saiyan one will be in a different one. But if we do get an armor Goku, that might be an instant cop. I really hope that figure turns out good. Because obviously Armor Goku is so sick, and it's not a look that we get very often. I don't even think we have a modern prize figure of that either. Okay, so I know this isn't figure news, but I had to include it. I had to include it, ladies and gentlemen. Finally, we have some merch of Gohan Beast and Orange Piccolo. Oh my gosh, thank you, whoever at Bandai made this happen. Literally, I could kiss you. Thank you so much. This is obviously for the wafer stickers. I did actually open up some of these on the channel semi-recently, and these are really cool. These are definitely some nice little chibi arts. Finally, some Gohan Beast and Orange Piccolo merch. Yeah, finally. Oh, man. All right, well, just wanted to throw that in there. That's really all I had to say about that. There's also Go Things there, too. Android 21 SH Figure Arts will be releasing in Japan and Asia on August 26th. I don't know when we're supposed to get this in the States. I actually did order this figure because this was a Dragon Ball Games Battle Hour exclusive. You had to buy it while the Battle Hour was going on. This is a pretty cool figure. I think definitely my favorite form of Android 21 personally is the lab coat form, so figured I'd cop a figure of her. And of course, since it's an exclusive, why not? So it will be cool to see how that ends up faring. I'm excited to see how the glasses look, because honestly, they look a little bit wonky on the actual figure now. Oh boy. Okay, so I don't remember if we talked about this guy, but this is a Plex figure, a giant one at that. This is from this line. I'm sure if you see these production images, you probably recognize we've taken a look at these. I believe this is Tambourine or Symbol, one of these guys from Dragon Ball. I don't remember their names. I'm sorry. But this is crazy, dude. In the official production image here, you can see that they covered up with a little bit of the black text, right? To sort of give you a little, ooh, you know, there's nothing there. But they taped his feet. You can see the tape. You can see the tape on his feet. You can see it down there. And you can see this. The figure doesn't stand up on its own, and there's no stand included. This figure is like a crazy expensive figure because the figures in this line are always really overpriced. This is ridiculous, bro. This is a new low. And I hate to say that, but Baggy's right, bro. This is a new low. Here is a GIF showing this off, by the way, from this YouTube video that Baggy made. The figure does not stand. This is a person who bought it and is trying to stand it up. And it just doesn't stand on its own. I'm assuming it's because of the weight of the wings. Huh? This is 17k yen. It's like a $170-ish figure. That's crazy, dude. Absolutely insane. Alright. So, this is a little bit unfortunate news for us. The history of film and fight on overseas Kuji listings confirmed. No other countries in Europe have access to these Ichiban Show or otherwise because 4 countries are getting the Kuji. So dumb. US, no history of film whatsoever, no Kuji or Ichiban Show. Yeah, so these are the countries that are going to be getting the Kuji. Unfortunately, we here in the States are just going to have to import them. Why? I don't know. Because Western fans love Broly, like I think more than the Japanese fans do, and obviously Broly is a huge contender, a huge like advertisement point for this set. So, I don't know. I feel like this set would sell like hotcakes, but Bandai will be Bandai. Here's the packaging for these bad boys. Funny enough, right? We were just talking about how they look a lot more saturated in those original images. Yeah, these look very dark, but keep in mind that also is probably the picture taken of those two. Alright, so here's some of the packaging for the History of Film Kuji. Beerus, Cooler, and Janemba are unfortunately long. Gohan seems decent, or Goten, excuse me, seems decent. Turles and Gohan seem a bit less wide and tall. So yeah, you can see here, this is what the packaging looks like. Looks nice. I definitely like the gradient in the background. It's pretty cool. This was also like a wow. Look at how big Janemba's packaging is compared to Beerus. This should also put some perspective on the image that we saw before of that giant Prime statue Vegeta, with how big this is compared to this. And you can also see the clear stand right next to Beerus there for a little bit of a size comparison as well. Okay, so this section I just have as a little scroll because there were so many tweets I could have included, but they're all kind of sandwiched in this one little section here that I figured I would show you all of them. Real quick, before we go to that, I just wanted to show you this is what the little poster is going to look like if you actually walk into a store in Japan and if you buy a Kuji ticket for this, which is pretty cool. So here are all the boys standing directly next to each other. As you can see, they are all pretty similar in height, honestly. Janemba's a little bit taller because keep in mind he's closer to the screen. That is a good size comparison for Goten as well to kind of see how big he is compared to the rest of these figures. I think they all look pretty good. Turles' head is tilted a little bit and the Scouter looks a little bit weird. Maybe that's just an optical illusion. But I will say, Beerus looks a little bit wonky. Like, he looks like he's tilting his head, but it almost kind of looks like his head is melting. I don't know. Janemba's face also looks a little bit smaller than I initially thought it would be. His eyes are a little bit too close together, maybe. But it could also just be angle. Regardless, this is definitely a good little bit of size comparison for you on how these guys will look. Here's the close-up on the Goten. Honestly, this guy came out pretty good. I definitely like this a lot. Obviously, the face is a little bit more of an intense look, so it's not your traditional Goten happy-go-lucky, but definitely not too bad. We have Turles here, which he actually looks really, really good. Unfortunately, they did do the little bit of black mouth thing where it kind of looks like he's been eating chocolate rather than the fruit of might. Keep eating healthy, my boy. But overall, definitely not too bad, right? I definitely like the expression. It feels pretty Turles, honestly. We have the boy Janemba here on his own. It's weird because I feel like in the images that we saw before, his face was a lot more of like that weird frown that Janemba does. But looking at this, oh no, I guess it's there. Okay, it was just a weird looking way from seeing it far away. Yeah, definitely looks pretty good, I think. It's also the angle too. His eyes are like under the little hood that he sort of has over his eyebrows. Very interesting. Okay. So yes, here's some more pictures of the boys next to each other on a flat surface this time. You can see how they compare size-wise. This Beerus looks a lot better than that other one. It looks like his head is quite literally tilting a different way than that other one. The metal coolers look fantastic. I don't think there's any complaints from me there, honestly. And there's Janemba next to Turles. They look good. It's interesting to see, though, like these figures, if you look at the minor details, like Turles' head doesn't look as tilted to the side as they do on the couch, but maybe that's just because it's a soft surface that they're looking a little bit bended. So like, you know, because they're cushioning it down, they look a little bit different. I don't know. You understand what I'm saying, because then like the weight would push the figure down, so it tilted a little bit. Anyway, here's Broly. This guy looks fantastic. This is the actual final version. This is a person who has it in their hand, right? This is a customer who bought this. This is not, they're just good at taking pictures. This is not like any official images or anything like that. I'm so glad this figure turned out good. If like, granted, I really wanted all the villains to look good, and I think that they do. But if I wanted any of the figures to look good, obviously this one, because of course this is the one that's like the crazy sculpt that should look really good. I'm so glad this figure turned out great. I think I am eventually going to cop this thing. I don't know when, but this is a really cool figure. I'm so glad that this thing ended up turning out really well. Very, very clean, for sure. Here's your boy Janemba with some more close-up angles. That looks really nice. Those side profile shots look really good. Holy cow. Hold on, let me get the zoom in. First of all, yeah, see what I mean? That his eyes are a little small, so the hood from certain angles will cover. He literally just looks like he has no pupils there. But yeah, as you can see from the side there, that looks really good. Those shots look really good. Yeah, oh, a little bit of gunk on the connection to the figure there. But yeah, overall, I think he looks really good. I definitely think they knocked it out of the park. A little bit of a blemish there. But yeah, overall, very good. I'm pretty happy with how this Kuji turned out overall. I definitely think that they did not fumble the bag for this one. Yeah, a little bit of a dark line around his mouth, which is kind of a shame because Bandai likes to do that recently. I don't know why. Turles' face honestly looks... I think it looks worse. Does it look worse? I don't know. I can't tell. I don't know if I like this better or worse than the original production images. Let me know what you think in the comments for sure. I don't know. I think he might be the only one that I'm a little bit iffy on in terms of how he ended up turning out. Oh yeah, so here's Gohan. This is one I really wanted to show because we didn't have as many pictures. This looks like a little bit weird because it's kind of the angle that the face is taking. But especially from the straight on angle here, it looks pretty good. Obviously a super intense expression here. But yeah, honestly not too bad. This angle looks a little bit wonky as well, to be honest with you. But the overall sculpt of the figure looks good. Yeah, I definitely think this guy turned out alright. Definitely not the craziest one, I think. Like, I obviously think that people are more excited about the villains, and I definitely am. But I'm glad that Gohan turned out alright, at least. Definitely not the worst figure I've ever seen. And here we have the boy Goten. I think that, funny enough, he may have turned out better than Gohan with the face, at least. I think that Gohan, excuse me, his sculpt is better because the, like, rips on the pants look a little bit cheap, to be honest with you. But, I mean, overall, the figure looks pretty good. I definitely like the expression that they went with for him, for sure. Yeah, definitely not too bad. There are, unfortunately, a little bit of scuff marks, as you can see on the figure, which that's Bandai's quality control at play there, but definitely not too bad. Oh yeah, so this was good to note. So by the way, if you want to pick up any of these from various different Japanese auction sites, Baggy has some links. I'll try and remember to leave this tweet in the description below. But as you can see here, Turles and Janemba are already under 10k. As more lots clear, hopefully they should go down even more. Gohan and Goten are already around the 3k mark, which is awesome because that means that they are going to be around 30 bucks. So if you are trying to import this set, this honestly shouldn't be too bad of an import for you, which is really good. Definitely very exciting to see. Here we have the two boys next to each other, which is really cool. They definitely look very, very good complementing each other as well. The one thing I will say that is a bit of a shame is they aren't aiming in the exact same direction. Maybe that's a bit of a nitpick, I don't know. But the fact that they're not aiming in the, like Goten definitely needs to lift his arms a little bit, I think. Because obviously they're supposed to be aiming at Broly, right? I definitely want to pose these guys, if I do end up getting these guys, with the, like, Ichiban Kuji Broly standing at the top of the hill, right? I think that that could be really cool. Or maybe, like, the King Cluster Broly, right? The regular Z Broly could look really cool, even though that's obviously not a second coming figure. I still think that that could look really good. Okay, so I believe we move on to our next actual tweet. Do we have? I think we have that tweet. Yeah, okay, right there. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure before I moved on to the next section here that I wasn't forgetting anything. Well, let's just look at this real quick since it's right here, I guess, and then we'll skip it when we get to it. The GxMATERIA Vegito is scheduled for early December in Japan. Ritsuden mid. And the DXF Gohan and the History Box late December. Also, by the way, I don't think we saw this Trunks figure yet. This is a base form version of the Super Saiyan Armor Trunks that we saw already. I gotta be honest, my man's hair is not long enough at all. Very weird looking, if I'm being honest. I feel like if his hair was longer, the figure wouldn't look as bad. His face is definitely a little goofy for sure. But I feel like if the hair was longer, it would feel a little bit more natural. Also, his fist, I feel like, should be tilted the other way. Like, I feel like his palm should be up towards the sky, not down. He kind of looks like he's hitting the whip and nay-nay. I don't know. Very goofy. Okay, so this was also another cool piece of information here. The Clear Eyes Gohan has hit 653 game stations, meaning it is the highest ordered Clear Eyes figure. And now, top 5 of the top 6 ordered prize figures this year belongs to Gohan. 5 of the top 6 ordered prize figures this year belong to Gohan. One is literally carrying Dragon Ball prize figures, yet Bandai continues to commercialize Goku Vegeta. Yeah, I don't understand it, bro. They see that this is what's doing well. Why would they not make more Gohan? I don't know. But regardless, though, good on you, boy, for getting those big boy numbers. SHF Purunga estimated package size is on screen for you, and apparently will be windowed box, which is cool because obviously SH Figuarts figures are traditionally windowed box, but I would have not been surprised if they didn't do that for this guy. So pretty cool. We'll have to see what that looks like with the packaging. Yeah, so we did see this image already, and this was just another one of these bad boys in a glass case next to each other that looked pretty cool. Definitely not too bad, honestly. This Turles looks better than the ones that we saw. I don't know. Maybe that's just a testament to how stinky the Bandai quality control is, that the figures can look different in different pictures. I don't know. Alright, so here we finally are on to the multi-angles of these figures. I apologize that it took so long. I thought I had them organized properly, but with so many links, it's hard to get them all exactly organized, especially since it's hard to, like, you know, get them specifically, right? Anyway, here is your boy Frieza. He's really played. Yeah, I kind of agree with that, honestly. There's not really a ton of shading on this figure, especially on the back. Oh my gosh, that looks like my man just came out of the shower. This figure is okay. I definitely don't think it's too bad. It's kind of a shame that they only just put like 4 scuff marks. Like, what has my man just been rolling around the dirt for 5 minutes? It's not the worst figure I've ever seen for sure. I definitely feel like his expression could be a little bit more intense for sure. Keep in mind, this is also the history box line, so it's also going to be really small too. I'm not the fan of the shading on this one as well. Also, the purple feels really dull. Like, I have a lot of Frieza figures that have this very nice, beautiful purple on the, like, dome and on his different, like, purple parts of his body. It feels a little bit cheaper here, to be honest with you. We have some multi-angles of ya boy. Let's go! I'm excited about this one, bro. Oh, my gosh. Look at this man, bro. Oh! That's a nice looking figure right there. Yeah, so we have some multiple angles. Oh, so good. The bangs are really good too. I like that the bangs are so far out and they're so puffy. That looks really, really cool. I'm sure that with the way that the GxMATERIA line works, you could also display this guy without the beam if you really wanted. I don't know why you would do that, but you could. Because I'm assuming the beam is just kind of going to jam onto his hand. Because, you know, most of the figures, either they have like a part where they attach on the back, or, you know, they just sit on the base or something like that. I will say the one thing I'm a little bit unfortunate with this is I'm hoping this is a little bit more harder plastic, because I could absolutely see this getting bent in the box, or with Bandai's stinky quality control, this figure could absolutely end up, you know, with a very bent key sword. So I'm really hoping that's not the case. If that does happen to you, what you could do is you could definitely take a hairdryer to this just for a couple of seconds, and then bend it into place and kind of let it dry. You could definitely do that to fix the problem. I know, funny enough, I think Varrock himself recommended that for the GxMATERIA Rosé with the scythe. But yeah, here's a super high quality production image of him, a cleaner one. But yeah, these are really, really cool looking. I like these a lot. I'm definitely going to be copping this figure day one. Funny enough, I don't think I have a Super Vegito figure. I have a bunch of Vegito Blue figures, but this will be like the de facto Super Vegito figure in my collection for sure. Very, very excited for this guy. Definitely cannot wait to get this guy. He's going to look good from every angle too. Oh, man. So excited. Okay, so we have the Retsuden Vegeta, multi-angles here. Again, something about this figure feels a little off to me. I don't know, like, he doesn't look bad. It's just his body feels a little bit small. Maybe for his head, maybe it's because of the colors with, like, the dark blue of the armor, but I kind of feel like his head is, like, photoshopped on this body. I don't know. Just looks a little bit weird to me. Let me know what you think in the comments. Definitely not too bad of a figure, and if you like the armor forms of the Saiyans, that's definitely not a bad figure, I suppose. We also have another angle of this Trunks here. He doesn't look great, bro. I don't know. I know the face isn't, like, the worst. It's pretty bad. I know this is a little bit shorter hair because he has the ponytail in the back. You can see it from this angle here, but, like, I feel like it should still be longer. I don't know. It's not that good looking. I'm gonna be honest with you, Chief. Also, yeah, very, very insane as well that they're also taping these figures down now. I don't know if the reason that they're doing that is so that they don't have to show the stand in the image, because obviously these figures will come with stands. But the fact that they're even leaving that in and not editing it out, when on some of these other images, right? Does Vegeta have the stand in this image? No, he doesn't. Okay, yeah. You can't see the tape there, but then you can see it there, right? Like for Vegito, they go through the trouble of editing out the stick that will be, you know, in his back or in his leg, right? Because obviously that's what makes him float. But they don't edit out the tape? I don't get it. I don't know. It's so strange to me. Anyway, December factory confirmations made in China. Vegito and Gohan. Makes sense. And then the Retsuden figures and the Frieza will be made in Vietnam. So it'll be interesting to see how these guys turned out, because obviously if you've been watching this series for a while, you would know that typically the figures that get made in Vietnam usually don't turn out as good. They've been okay recently, but we'll have to see, because they're kind of set up for failure with these sculpts that aren't that crazy. that crazy good. Here are the December heights for these guys. Obviously, Vegito and Gohan are going to be the biggest. Kind of makes sense because those lines are a little bit bigger than the history box and the Ritsuden lines. Anyway, here is some high-quality images of Gohan as well. We saw a couple of these earlier. But yeah, very, very decent looking figure, honestly. I like that the tips as well, excuse me, sort of form into white. I think that's a really cool effect that they sort of like end off like that. It's almost like a gradient on the end. Very, very cool. Okay, so this was a pretty cool little image here. These are all of the 2022 Gohan figures that are going to be released or have been released this year, which is pretty cool to see. Lots of great stuff, honestly. Lots of cool options for whatever form of Gohan you're interested in. Unfortunately, no Gohan Beast yet. Again, I'm really hoping that that Blood of Saiyans figure comes through. But a good selection this year, for sure, honestly. I, myself, will probably end up getting the Ultimate Gohan. Obviously, you know your boy's going to be getting the GxMATERIA because I want to get every GxMATERIA figure. And probably the Clear Eyes Great Saiyaman Gohan. I don't think I'll get the Blood of Saiyans one, even though I think it's a good-looking figure. I have plenty of Super Saiyan 2 Gohans already, and especially some battle damage ones. Even one that I still have in the box from a long while ago. Maybe I'll get the Armor Gohan. I'll probably only get him, though, if they make the Armor Goku, so I can kind of pair them together, because I think that'd be pretty cool. Moving on, this was pretty cool, and I know for Amazon, I think that this is the 17th or 18th, something like that, this will start to ship out. But in the United States, the Dragon Ball Kuji is slowly starting to roll out, so keep your eyes out for these. I'm definitely super hyped to be able to get my hands on this set for sure. I'm really, really excited about this one. Yeah, very, very hyped for sure. Okay, so this was also pretty interesting to note as well. The top 5 most ordered prize figures in Japan this year so far. Number 1, DXF Gammas. Number 2, BOS Gohan. Number 3, DXF Ultimate Gohan. Number 4, Clear Eyes Gohan. And number 5, Solid Edgeworks Gohan. Notice a pattern? Yeah, Gohan galore, baby! Also, I'm really shocked that the Gammas are that high, but I guess it is a new movie. Yeah, please, more Gohan figures. I would not mind if he was the next character to get oversaturated. I'm kidding, Bandai, please don't. Oh, no, I just spoke that into existence. I'm so sorry. Don't come back to this video if that happens. Regardless, though, yeah, very cool that Gohan is very much so taking the spotlight this year in terms of figures. We're almost done here. We have some couple extra images of the Gojitas here. Yeah, that looks really nice, honestly. Again, like I said, the paint job, you can kind of see the paint looks a little bit cheap on the hair, and you can see that is bleeding over real bad onto the black of the jacket there. But honestly, this figure looks okay, right? I definitely don't think there's anything really besides the paint job that looks too bad about it. I might cop the Super Saiyan one. I don't know, just because I don't have that many Super Saiyan Gojitas, that might be a decent one just because this figure is alright, for sure. And finally, the last piece of news. I don't know how this ended up being the last piece, but unfortunately, the Cupid Socket 17 is not coming to the West. All the countries that it's going to be sold in are right here. And that is everything that we have for today's figure news. Let's just make sure that Baggy hasn't tweeted anything Dragon Ball related in the last couple of minutes. No, he has not. So, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I am very excited for the upcoming figures that we have in store. I'm really, really hoping that superhero... Oh, man, I'm really hoping we get that Gohan Beast. I'm really hoping for it, bro. Let me know what was your favorite figure from today. I am quite excited myself. Definitely for all of the Gohan love and to pick up a bunch of those Gohan figures as well. Obviously, the movie Kuji is very exciting. I'm glad that those guys turned out pretty well, especially Janemba, because he was probably the one that, like, out of all those figures, if I had to pick one to buy, you know, that would probably be the one. So I'm glad he turned out really well. Thank you guys so much for watching. Oh, and obviously, hold on, wait a minute. How could I forget the GOAT? Duh! Hello! He's literally the thumbnail of the video, because I'm excited for this figure. Anyway, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Dokkan out. Peace.